Welcome back, dear listeners. It's another engaging episode on our podcast series on this tech show. And today we are digging deep into this relevant field of cybersecurity. So, as I promised in the last series, I'm bringing you a visitor today, and is going to take us very deeply into the present cybersecurity as we are trying to enrich you the best. So to begin with, let's stage by understanding the current state of cybersecurity. We have a cybersecurity expert, as I already said, and so he's going to give us a small elaboration as a beginning of how the current state of cybersecurity is.
Yeah, I'm happy to be with you guys today, and thank you, Madam Cathay, for having me tonight. I'm really grateful, and I would like to dig deeper into cybersecurity as you just introduced. Literally, cybersecurity, everyone would wonder why we're talking about is just because of the persistent threats and rapid advancements in the field of technology. This comes along with the sophisticated software, the employing techniques that the different employing techniques in different companies, such as the phishing, the the social engineering to exploit vulnerabilities in the networks. Okay, at the end of the day, it all comes back to us in the technology, people who are involved. How are people taking advantage of your system, and how are you like to prevent it from these people? So, this I feel free, and I would love to dig deeper and discuss more, and it will be a good talk. Thank you.
Security landscape is continuously evolving, and it is characterized by both persistent threats and rapid advancements. Cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated, employing techniques such as the ransomware, as we already talked about in the first series, phishing, and so many other upcoming things. So to exploit vulnerabilities in networks and systems. On the other hand, cybersecurity professions are developing innovative solutions to protect data and infrastructure. So to give a clear hint here, I'm trying to talk about the cybersecurity criminals and even the people on the other side who are trying to bring out the solutions. So how do you merge the two? How do you think the people who are trying to bring out the solutions can engage, can get access maybe to the cyber criminals, and we can have maybe proper solutions to these persistent criminals of cybersecurity? It's clear that we are facing a consistent battle between attackers and defenders. What are some of the major challenges faced by cybersecurity experts in their efforts to protect digital assets?
That one, we should just focus on the evolving technology, and that's, for instance, look at the Internet of Things, look at the different devices. They say that, for instance, let's look at the Android thing. It has a choice where people can develop their own. Okay, it's open source. That's why you're going to see iPhones are more secure than Android phones. So this comes about the weaknesses of humanity, the love for money. So at the end of the day, people won't invest a lot in cybersecurity, they'll more invest on how they're going to make more money. And I think that's a weakness, and that's what most companies face. In that they develop systems, they literally don't focus on the security issue, they focus on how they are going to gain from it. And obviously, this is going to affect the entire process. Another thing I would think is lack of sufficient funds for the project. Instead of investing more in security, these guys are going to invest more in marketing and promotion and getting people on there using their services. And that shows. But however, if these guys had a lot of capital, they would invest more in security, and they'll still have sufficient capital for the promotions. And I think to summarize this is the evolving technology, the human weakness as you're trying to develop. People really, the criminals, we all know the criminals are there. It doesn't matter how strong you build your house, someone's going to think how best is going to break into it. So all we know is the best thing is we have to focus on enhancing cybersecurity. As we all know, we have people willing to hack and exploit our weaknesses as humans. I think that's my submission about the cause of insecurities and cyber threats.
So, despite the challenges, technology is empowering in cybersecurity professions with new tools and approaches. So, I would like you, Mr. Next, to give us more advancements in this field. Like, give us more light of the advancements of the innovations that are taking place in this field of cybersecurity.
I think you're familiar with the AI, with the machine learning. I think right now that's where all we're going. And I think this is the best way to give the algorithms more work than us. So if we have very few people interacting with the system, with the rest of the work being automated, that shows we expect less fraud, less people taking advantage of our system. And that's why I think the best innovation is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And if we go into other sectors, I know you're familiar with things like blockchain, things like distributed digital ledgers, all those are coming.
So you've talked about AI and blockchain. So I'm seeing these two things in the mix. So as I already said about awareness, I majorly talk about making people aware of what we are dealing with. So I'd like you to throw me light of how humans, how can we create some awareness about the AI and the blockchain to the people, to the normal people that we are dealing with.
If I'm not aware of something, you don't expect me to utilize it. So I think in this case, cybersecurity, we have to conduct massive training, massive sensitization to all the people, even deep down in the upcountry system. As if somebody is using the system, they all know what they're dealing with. And to refer it to AI and blockchain, because these are things that are not familiar with the normal person, the layman person. So they have to learn more about blockchain and AI so that as they interact with these systems, they're able to make advantage of them. So it's at this point that I call upon organizations to continue and emphasize and make their clients aware of the kind of system they're interacting with. Because we all know blockchain takes us away from the takes us to the cashless world, but we're dealing with people who are used to the cash. So I think as we talked about awareness, we have to do it, and that's through workshops. We do different events through partnerships. For instance, if you partner with these organizations or companies that really reach the people deep down in the village or deep down at their workplaces, that would be an advantage for creating awareness for the individuals and the different organizations.
So, looking ahead, what are the critical steps we must take to ensure our digital future? Like here, I'm asking, what can we do us as an individual, and what can we do as a society to improve our cybersecurity?
But focus on the individuals. We have a different part to play in this. Also, the service providers have a different role in this. So, focusing on the individuals, one, we have to make sure we create strong passwords for our platforms. For instance, if it's your Twitter account, make sure you create a strong password. Don't share your password with your friends. Don't use the different hacks that people use. Like, for instance, you're using your name in your password. No, use something else. You're using your girlfriend's name. No. I think to overcome this, you have to. It comes back to us as an individual by following the normal prompt or the normal criteria for security. And most of the websites really do this. You try to create a password that will tell you it should be more than eight, it should have more than 8 characters, it should have an uppercase character. So those are the different measures the organizations are trying to put to aid you. But the question is, do you care about what you're trying to secure? If it's yes, make sure it's strong, even on your side. Also, I think on the side of the organizations, these people have obviously followed the normal measures, but also ensure to maybe, for instance, let's assume you're creating a website, ensure you obtain the SSL certificate. Ensure that even the people visiting your website, they will know it's secure. and the information is going to be secure. So the organization should also obtain and follow the different criteria and measures there to ensure people's information is safe. And I think that's not enough. Other entities should come into play, and that's the organizations, like the governments, they ensure for a company maybe to be licensed or be registered, they should ensure they have provided the measures to ensure security for the kind of data they are going to use. By the end of the day, in the current world, the biggest asset you can have is data. I think that's what it has to cut across the individuals, the company, and the regulatory bodies.
Thank you, our esteemed guest, for enlightening us about the world of cybersecurity. As we have learned today, cybersecurity is ongoing, it's an ongoing battle, but with innovation, education, collaboration, and we can build a safer digital world. Remember, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, and together we can safeguard the digital frontier by taking the individual initiative. Stay tuned for more insightful tech talks and catch up next time. Don't forget to like, comment, give us your say. You could even highlight what we could talk about more, as per the field says. Thank you.